Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for those who are joining me, and thank you for those who are joining me for the replay. I'm just going to give myself some time. My scope today is too blessed to be stressed. 3 tips to cope with stress. There's something that hi, welcome, 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 Hove. Man, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, and thank you for those who are sharing. Make sure that you share this. This is some really good information because I know that we all deal with stress in some way or form or fashion. I'd say that we all bleed, so we all have stress. No one can escape from stress, no matter what social class that you fall in. You will deal with stress, and this scope is all about stressing and how we are definitely too blessed to be stressed, but we will have stress in our lives. And I just want to start off by saying that stress is inevitable. We all will have some stress in our life, no matter what situation we're going through, because we all have different situations. Hi. Thank you for joining. We all have situations that we fall in or go through that we will have some stress. We will deal with stress in our life, and you can't run away from it totally. You will have to face it. And I want to give you 3 tips that I have utilized. It has actually helped me a whole lot when I'm dealing with stress. I deal with stress a lot, and I'm dealing with stress now. So I want to first talk about, don't feel guilty when you have to take a break from a stressful situation. What that is helping you do is not to avoid the situation, because you can't avoid a stressful situation. You will have to face it. So if you need to take a break, don't feel guilty about that. Just remind yourself that the break will make you more effective when you return. You will have a clear mind when you come back. You will have a solution when you come back. A lot of things will happen when you take that break. So if you're going through a stressful situation, the first tip is to, just take a break. Take a break because you will become a better person after you have returned from the break. 2, use avoidance only as a short-term solution. After you have gotten space from the problem, begin actively solving it. Now, some people do this totally wrong. Like I said in the beginning, you can't avoid it. You will have to face it. Some people try to actually avoid the situation. We all have different levels of stress that we go through. That is going to be something you have to face by yourself. You can't totally avoid it, but you can short-termly avoid it, but you will have to return. And that's when you're taking a break, that's when you're avoiding that. But you will start to get a clear head and clear mind about things, what you need to address and how you need to address those. The 3rd tip is to be patient with yourself. It takes practice to integrate both active and avoidance coping into your toolbox. You have to be patient because when stress hits, you're going to respond differently. Depends on the situation, because some people totally lose it. When they're hit with stress, they don't know how to cope with it, and that's the thing, learning to cope with it. So the 3 tips that I've given you are helping you cope with it. Some people aren't patient enough with themselves when dealing with the stressful situation or coping with it. They would rather walk away and avoid it. But what happens when you walk away totally from something? It gets worse. It gets worse. So it's easier to face the situation head on after you have cleared your mind, you've taken a break, you've come back with a solution, then you face that problem. Now, this is something that it's going to take practice depending on the type of person you may be. Some people who are introverts more then likely are using this technique. They kind of, go back into their headspace. They start thinking about a solution, and then they're outward with it as to how they're going to solve that problem. But some people who are more extrovert, they're going to just, maybe go off on that stressful situation, or tackle it right away. That's what extroverts do. They more than likely tackle it right away. But the con about that is that you can actually do the wrong things when coping, and you just take it head on. You can actually do something totally wrong. So make sure that you use the 3 tips that I've given you. You want to, one thing you want to do is take a break. Don't feel guilty for just taking a break, taking a step back, and reminding yourself that this break will do you of good. 2, you want to avoid that stressor only temporarily, so that it gives you time to come up with a solution to how you're going to face that problem. And be patient with yourself. Coping takes time. Solutions take time. Even if it's something that's stressing you today, you are right. Better to take some time to distance yourself from stress. Exactly, Hope. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They tend to try to solve that problem right then and there. And I can understand if you want to get it out of the way, but when you tackle it too far in advance, then that solution is going to be the wrong solution, and it can take you in a totally different direction, as to where if you would have taken the time, thought about it, processed everything that has happened in that situation, then you can actually give a better solution to it. So take these 3 things that I've given you and try them out for your next stressor. Like I said, if you're bleeding, you're going to stress. You're not going to just have zero stress in your life, no matter what social economic background you currently come from or have. You're not going to totally not have stress. Life is full of them, but it's actually how we approach the situation that is our outcome, or how we solve that situation is our outcome. And even if you need to bring other people, into, that's just a bonus, bringing other people that you like and that you trust into that situation, so that they can help you or give you advice on how to deal with that situation. That will be your best bet. So I totally hope someone got value out of this information. But if this is your first time listening to me, I'm so sorry I did not introduce myself in the beginning. I was just, wanting to get that content out to you. My name is Tequila Kauser. I am a mompreneur. I help shorten the learning curve for mompreneurs by giving you self-management tips. And, stress is one of them. Stress comes with entrepreneurship because you have to, thank you. But you have to learn how to cope. It's your coping mechanism that's going to get you to the next level. So thank you for the hearts, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Hope, for with giving your input on it, and thank you so much for interacting. I really appreciate that, and thank you for sharing it with your followers. I really appreciate that as well. So take these tips, utilize them in your daily walk. I can recap them for you one more time, just in case you did not take notes. Take a break. When you take that break, it's almost like you're avoiding it, but it's a short-term avoidance only, so that you can find a solution. And then be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself, because you can make it. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks. And have a great day.